Hello, hypothetical audience. Welcome to my corner of the internet. I'm JJNW'S, and yesterday I watched Dune. So I was a Dune virgin. I never read the books, never watched like the David Lynch movie, never seen any of the like miniseries or anything, and I didn't know a lot going in. I actually kind of made that a point too. It's like if I've never read the source material, never seen any of the adaptations, I don't want to know a lot. Movie, I am a completely blank slate. Pop my Dune cherry. Man, that was weird to say. But, it popped my Dune cherry. I loved this movie. I'm a sucker for politics. Like, that's one of my favorite aspects of Game of Thrones is just all these people with their different ambitions, all these houses with their different ambitions, fighting against each other however they can. One of the things I love about Legend of the Galactic Heroes is the exact same thing. All the politics, all the scheming. How do I get me and my people in the position where I want them to be? That stuff intrigued. Like, I was super invested when Dune was doing that. Where you've got like this, what was the house? Arrakis was the planet. It was like Atreus? No, that's Neverending Story. It's something like that. But it was like this house has been, like very powerful. It's like one of the great houses of the Imperium, the Empire. But the Emperor doesn't like that. They're really popular. They have a lot of influence. And I know they really hate this other house. I can't remember what their name was. It's the one with Bautista. And he was like, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the Bautista house, who has been running this planet Arrakis, which has spice, which is a super... it's this really valuable material. I'm going to kick them off that planet and give it to these people. Because these people don't want it. Because it's going to make them a target. These people want it. And I'm going to get rid of them. I'm going to make them not have it to make them hate them. So I'm going to make you two fight each other. And I'm also going to help the Bautista house because I really don't want this other house because they're a threat to me. I can't declare war on them. That would look bad. But, I mean, if, I lend a few soldiers, no one's going to know. Except the people I want to know. Because they'll be indebted to me. What are they going to do? Tell on me? Who's going to believe them? If I, sabotage the new people coming to Arrakis, then I can always say, hey, you guys just aren't doing a good enough job. I don't want to hear any complaints. You don't even see the Emperor at all, but you understand what he's thinking with just what everyone else has said and just the things going on. So cool. I love that. Arrakis itself, the desert planet, beautiful. I was surprised how much I actually liked looking at sand and looking at the desert. It has this just air to it where this is beautiful, but I would never want to go here because I know I would die. It just feels so imposing. A lot of the architecture, that's the word I wanted. The main city in Arrakis. Just, I love how that, buildings look. Everything just looks so smooth. Just, the sheen that everything had. I just really liked looking at this movie. The sandworms. So, that's a thing in Dune. They talk about, these worms. And I was like, okay, so, these big worms. They pop out of the ground every while. And then, okay. So, they're moving Sarlacc pits. That's really what they are. The first time you see one, you see, this big dust color, okay, that's the worm, it's really bad, okay, I know it's bad, how bad is it? So the ground, so the sand just starts sinking and sinking until it reveals this giant mouth that just eats this, big tank-looking vehicle. And you realize, oh, that's how bad it is. Those things are huge. I knew they were big. I didn't think they were that big. And then you see them twice more throughout the film. And the last time you see one where it actually gets out of the sand and you see its big gaping maw and these rows upon rows upon rows of teeth. Man, that thing is cool. I love that shot of looking at it. The music I thought was fine. It had that very like blong, blong kind of score to it, which I like, but I also kind of don't like. It's like I like it in small doses, I guess a good way of saying it. It also has a very sand level score to it. I don't really know how best to say it, but it's like if I close my eyes and listen to like some of the music, like okay, yeah, this takes place in some kind of sand planet. Because it's like ice levels will always kind of sound the same. Sand levels will always kind of sound the same. I don't care if it's a movie. I don't care if it's a game. I don't care if it's a show. It's just what's going to happen. And for whatever reason, I don't tend to like sand music that much just because it always sounds like the same thing. Like, it was good, but it was like I've more or less feel like I've kind of heard this before. Jason Momoa is in the movie, plays a guy named Duncan Idaho. Anytime I heard his last name, I just kind of snickered, just because it was bizarre. It's like, so wait, are the 50 states in this movie? Or like in this universe? Does this take place in like completely fantasy reality? Does it not? I don't know, but he was just great. I like Jason Momoa. He's, just always like happy, energetic, like slap people on the back until, shit hits the fan. Then he's not happy, but he's still cool. He's Jason Momoa. Oscar Isaac does really well in this movie. I feel like everyone did. I wasn't really sure what my vibe on the main character was on Paul. Timothy, what's his last name? Like Charlemagne, something like that. I don't think I'm that familiar with him. He's very pretty, which I feel like, the fact that his character is a prince, he's supposed to be this messiah, is something that kind of works. But he doesn't... I don't want to say it. I don't know how I want to say it. I don't even know what I was going to say. I think I just zoned out. He was so pretty, I didn't know what to say. One thing I do like is that the way he kind of portrays his messiahness, it comes across less of, you are the chosen one, which is the vibe I was getting at first, where I was like, I think that's kind of what I wanted to say. I was like, I just wasn't liking the whole chosen one thing. But as the movie goes on, it becomes less of, you're the chosen one, you're a messiah, you're going to help us. And more just, these people on this planet, believe there is going to be a messiah. And I have a lot of their messiah's qualities. Whether I am their messiah or not, my world just got turned upside down. My family is not in a good situation anymore. So why don't I use this? Why don't I use their belief in me and of me to my advantage? Less in like a scummy way, given, all the circumstances in the movie. But I liked how that came across. It was not just like, I'm going to help your people because I'm the chosen one. I have to fight the big bad emperor. More just like, I'm not in a good spot, and this would really help. But it's also going to help you out, because if you help me do what I need to do, like, I'll return the favor. Like, that's the kind of stuff I love. Like, a lot of wheeling and dealing. And it's not nearly as scummy as I'm making it sound. But even if it was, I love it. I love Survivor. I love wheeling and dealing and people doing scummy stuff. Anything... the Baron, who's like the bad guy in the movie. So he's supposed to be like the super fat, obese guy who can't stand on his own. He has to like levitate. I didn't realize he was levitating. I honestly thought the thing with his character was he was actually super tall, but he mostly just sat in place for most of the movie. And I found out later, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense, because... Sorry, I was just thinking, it's like, yeah, like he was obese, but I don't know if he was like so obese that he couldn't stand. Like that wasn't the vibe I got. It just seemed like he's comfortable sitting, but when he stands, he's massive. Which I thought was cool. I think there was something else. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say was, so in the movie, I definitely got some supernatural vibes from some stuff. Like Paul and his mother have this voice that, like, if they use the right pitch and say the right words, they can essentially get people to do whatever they want, like a Jedi mind trick, which I'm comparing it to Star Wars. Star Wars, I am 90% sure, came after Dune, so any similarities, Star Wars took from Dune, not Dune from Star Wars. I mean, of course, could have been completely independent, but just bringing that out. So it's like they have like kind of the super voice thing. It's portrayed as a very supernatural thing, which I thought was fine. But then my friend explained to me, he's like, no, like I've read most of the first book. There's no magic in Dune, it's all science. Like essentially what they're trying to do is find, I guess it's like a speech check in a video game, like being able to say the exact right thing to the right person in the right tone. Like, oh, okay, that's equally interesting. But then you get this other stuff where Paul is having these visions, especially when he's introduced to spice. The visions get a lot stronger. Which, I guess in the book, it's not these supernatural visions. It's he's so smart, he is able to predict things accurately. Which I like and I don't like, because like, I'm completely fine with something like that. To a degree, it's like, okay, if I really focus, really think about everything, I can make these accurate predictions. There's a character in Trails that does that, Muse, and I really like that element. But then there's like, wait, but he's also using this to predict people that he's never met and would have no way of predicting them because he doesn't even know that they exist or what they look like, but he's seeing them perfectly. I don't know if that's something that makes more sense in the book, because the movie doesn't make it sound like it's a science thing. It makes it sound supernatural. I think as a supernatural element it works, but then when my friend told me, no, it's all science. That doesn't really make sense. And even he was like, yeah, the fact that he knows exactly like what she looks like, that doesn't really make sense. So I don't know if, again, that's a movie thing or if that's a book thing. Thought I'd bring it up. But short version, I loved it. I don't want to read the book, not yet. Because I want to go into the second half, because this is a part 1. I want to watch the second movie, again not knowing anything, and then I could read the book. I feel like just, since that's what I did with part 1, it's what I should do with part 2. But loved it. Hope the movie does well. It seems like it is. It seems like the audience and critics both adore it. I'm really hoping it does well so I can get a part 2. I think that's really all I have to say about Dune, so I guess we'll see you later. Bye.